Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod. Junior, MPBL para sa'yo. Ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. Liga ng bayan na to. Huwag ka matakot, kaya mo bang akyatin ang mundo? Bawat bukas may pag-asa sa'yo. Ito ang tulay ng tagumpay para lumakas ang iyong loob. MPBL, araw mo na, laro na to. Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod. Junior, MPBL para sa'yo. Ang liga, laro ng bawat Pilipino. Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod. Junior, MPBL para sa'yo. Ang liga, laro ng bawat Pilipino. Liga ng bayan na to.
Junior MPBL, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino.
We continue with South Division action as two teams who seek to bounce back from their respective losses, slug it out, and improve their place in the South Division standings as we bring you the live coverage of the Atlantis 88 Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. For those who were not able to make it in our first two games of our 6-game slate, we had both Cavite teams winning sa 16 under 77 to 72, while for the 14 under 87 to 65 naman. Magandang umaga muli sa inyong lahat. And Jaime Mendihar, kasama pa rin si Coach Noy Africa together with Andrea Veloso. Atid sa inyong aksyon ng ating patuloy na coverage of the Atlantis 88 Manny Pacquiao Junior MPBL. Third game for today, Coach Noy. And syempre, Cavite at Batangas pa rin this time for the 18 under tournament.
Well, Batangas looking for their first victory today, having lost the two earlier games against Cavite City. So we expect Batangas to go all out for a win here.
Actually, both teams coming off losses, but maybe we talk about the Batangas City Baraquitos muna. And syempre, you can't talk about the Baraquitos without talking about their key players, talking about Dwayne Pagyo and Carl Catilo.
Of course, you can see on your screen, itong si Dwayne Pagyo leads the team in scoring and rebounding, 16 points and 8 rebounds. Add to that, 2 assists per game. Of course, itong si Dwayne Pagyo, really the guy who is their barometer whenever he has a good game. Very good results for Batangas City. And the other guy is Carl Catilo, averaging 12 points and a steal per game. So definitely they're going to rely on this duo here to try and give them a victory.
And speaking of victory, in their previous game, a heartbreaking loss dito para sa Batangas City against Leyte. Almost coming up with a victory but falling short at the end.
That's right. Batangas nga 3-2, but coming off that loss to Leyte in that game, actually they were able to hit a good number of threes, made 5 attempts, but gave up too many for Leyte, who had 10 3-pointers. And you know, they really need to protect the ball a lot more because they gave up 15 steals of their 21 turnovers, which led to 16 points of turnovers for Leyte.
Dito naman tayo sa kabila, Coach Noy. We have for the Cavite City Aces Solar, syempre 2 players that we would also be looking out for in this coming matchup, talking about Gelris Bolilan and Adrian Calderon.
That's right. Itong si Gelris Bolilan actually is their leading scorer. He really provides them with all the points. He averages 21 points per game, which leads the team in scoring, and also 3 rebounds per game. The other guy we would like to talk about is Adrian Calderon. Adrian Calderon, their homegrown player who has really just been a bundle of energy for Coach Joel Gragasin, averaging nearly 16 points, 8.6 rebounds, and a team-leading 4.2 assists and 3.6 steals per game.
And also a team coming off a loss, a 7-point defeat against Bawan in their previous game. What went wrong for them in that game?
Well, in that game, pretty much yung field goal shooting nila, you know, fairly on the low side, 33%. Although they were able to sink 4 3-pointers, that was out of 26 attempts. That's only 15%. And they were forced to commit 30 turnovers, and that has been a familiar refrain for most of the teams. Teams that have turned the ball over too much have been on the losing end. In that game, Bawan was able to score 30 points off those turnovers.
So talagang both teams are trying to bounce back na from their defeat as we turn it over to Andrea Veloso for her report. Andrea?
Thank you, Jaime and Coach Noy. 18 under players naman ng Cavite City Aces Solar at Batangas City Baraquitos ang magpapakitang gilas ngayon dito sa court. Sabi nga ng head coaches from both teams, they just have to trust each other and start strong sa first half pa lang ng game para tuloy-tuloy ang lamang all throughout the game. Sino kaya sa dalawang koponan na ito ang makakalamang na at magpapakitang gilas on the first half of the game? Huwag na natin patagalin pa. I'll answer this over to our venue announcer.
Morning, welcome to Montano Hall, Cavite City. First, we would like to thank Atlantis 88, the sponsor of Manny Pacquiao Jr.'s MPBL inaugural season. And here's the third match, 18 under of Batangas City Baraquitos and Cavite City Aces Solar. Now introducing first, the visitor, Batangas City Barraquitas, starting 5, 18 under. He's playing point guard number 15, Alan Ortiz. He's playing shooting guard number 3, Arvin Silva. Playing small forward number 22, Dwayne Baguio. Playing power forward number 11, Denmark Holgado. At center number 23, 11, LJ. The head coach of Batangas City Barraquitas 18 under, Coach Brian Ramirez. Assistant coach Patrick Testa, Drew Ramirez, and Daika Pashan. And now for the third matchup, their home court advantage, Cavite City Aces Solar 18 under. Now introducing first, starting 5, number 42, playing point guard, Jalris Bulilan. His shooting guard number 28, Adrian Calderon. Small forward number 19, Andre Arguelles. Playing power forward number 33, EJ Dela Cruz. At center number 6, Sanji Mensu. The head coach of Cavite City Aces Solar 18 under, Coach Joel Gregasin. Assistant coach Ralph Horario, Jonathan Kamingeg. Games official, Cruise Chief Reverend J.R. Torres, Reverend Joel Badeo, and Reverend Mix De La Cruz. This is Junior MPBL, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino.
Tip-off tayo for our third game of the day. Matchup ng 18 under naman for Cavite City and Batangas. Starting 5 for both squads. Dito muna tayo sa Aces Solar, Mintu, Arguelles, Calderon, De La Cruz, and Bulilan. For the Barraquitos naman, we have Silva, Holgado, Ortiz, Pagio, and Elihay. May kailangan ding patunayan dito yung Batangas dahil nakadalawa na yung Cavite sa kanila for the 14 and 16 under. They have a chance to redeem their mga nakakababatang players in this matchup.
Well, actually, whenever you have teams very close in the standings, you expect a good matchup. Dahil a win here for Cavite will force a tie with Batangas at 3 and 3, while itong Batangas trying to put a little more space between them against Cavite.
Batangas so far is in the 4th of the standings in this young tournament. Samantalang Cavite naman is 7th as we look at Coach Joel with his 3rd game of the day. No? Lagari si Coach.
Pero mukhang fresh na fresh pa rin itong si Coach Joel. Well, of course, coming off 2 wins makes your job a little easier. But you know, this is a completely different game here, especially since itong Cavite City sporting a different set of threads now.
Behind the back pass there to Pagio. He will be fouled. Chance to get his first points from the line. Sino ba namang hindi mapapawi yung pagod, Noy, kung panalo nga naman yung koponan. And he would want to make it a clean sweep for his Cavite squads for this Tuesday morning.
Especially since, you know, despite winning the first 2 games, if you lose here, you go home with the thought that you're coming off a loss. So napakahirap talaga ng trabaho ng isang coach, especially when you're handling 3 teams. Parang, you know, you have to sweep everything for you to have to actually call it a good day.
Yep. Parang kung yun, nasa dulo, no? Parang yung pa yung tatatak, no? So we would want to end on a high. Kaya nga. First 2 points dito scored by Batangas City, courtesy of Dwayne Pagio. We were talking about him earlier nga, Coach Noy, as kind of the catalyst for the Barraquitos. He has been that guy for Batangas City throughout the tournament so far.
Well, actually, attitude-wise, itong si Dwayne Pagio, parang laging salubong kilay nito eh. Always just really trying to do everything to give a win for his beloved Batangas Barraquitos.
We see a drive to the basket, kaso mawala ang bola dito sa Batangas. That was Silva with a turnover. Driving to the basket is Calderon. Make that an end one. Power move brought to us by Pound for Pound Fitness, the official fitness partner of the Junior MPBL.
Look at that finish despite all the contact and, you know, yung katawan nito ni Dwayne Pagio. nothing to scoff at.
Nagkita
And,
sila sa ere.
Ito, meron na naman tayo. Another crowd favorite, of course. One of the sons of Cavite City in this squad. And definitely their most productive one. Itong si Adrian Calderon.
May mga pictures na naman ba, Noy?
Parang wala
Mga
naman
na-print
yata.
na pictures.
Baka pag may tumaas na picture dyan, hindi sa kanya, kay Galarpe yun.
Natira pa from the earlier game. But again, really love how this crowd is into it, no? Not just cheering by, shouting, by clapping, but also bringing the props para talagang ma-enjoy ang mga laro natin ngayong umaga.
Despite the short notice,
That's right. As Ortiz finds his way inside.
We actually failed to talk about Allen Ortiz. Allen Ortiz, their point guard, really providing that spark in orchestrating their plays. And also, you'd see every once in a while flashes of flashiness.
He tried to be flashy there, but naantala ang kanyang pasa. Jumper will miss. Baba ulit ang Cavite rito. They have a 3-on-3. Wanted to pull up. They go to Bulalan inside. Traveling ang itatawag. Good intention para sa kanya, but shuffled his feet on his way to the hoop.
Wrong execution of the Pinoy step that time for Gelris Bulilan. But this kid is a walking bucket, averaging 21 points per game here so far in the Junior MPBL 18 and under division.
4-3 in favor of the Baraquitos. 6.5 left sa ating first quarter as Pagyo misses on that 3 ball. Bigyan nila kay Calderon. Floater niya. Too strong.
A little off that time. Hirap nung floater na yan coming from the wing side.
Pagyo once again will go back to the stripe. So aggressive dito si Pagyo to begin this ball game. Giving himself his third and fourth free throw attempt already.
Well, if you have a physique like that, and ito ni Dwayne Pagyo, I don't think you're gonna hesitate to try and get to the free throw line, especially since he does possess that outside shot, and what better way to get your touch than by getting to the free throw line.
Ano kayang pinapakain dito sa mga Batangas players, no?
Oo
Kasi
nga.
yung 14 under nila, diba?
May-
Pinag-usapan natin si Rafael Ramos tsaka si Vince Pastor. Dalawang tangke. Kasi meron yatang something sa barako na kape dito sa Batangas that they really have these players na punong-puno din na talagang I guess physique-wise ready to dominate.
Actually, what I'm curious to know is kung ano ba yung Baraquitos. Baka naman yun ang sikreto dyan as itong si Bulilan starting to score very early here.
5 apiece for both teams as Ortiz and Silva. A little bit of miscommunication doon, causing that turnover. Balik sa Cavite bola. Sporting new threads, as you said, no? Very colorful Cavite City jerseys. Kakulay ng court.
Oo nga, actually, I did not notice that until now.
Silva with his left-handed layup on the other end. And we see Bulilan down on the floor.
Seemingly clutching his forehead, could have been hit.
So look at this replay. Awkward fall para sa kanya. Yung left foot niya, Noy. Mukhang he tweaked that in that attempt.
So really just riding in pain here.
Definitely not the sight you want to see if you're a Cavite fan dahil yun nga, we were talking about Bulilan pre-game that he is their top scorer. Try nilang i-retire ang kanyang sapatos. It is his left foot that
Well, as you see with the kids, whenever they tweak their ankles, as you could just feel the grimace for everybody here in the venue. The first instinct is to, tighten up those shoelaces. As you can hear the crowd. Kasi pag tayo yun, diretso tanggal na sapatos, game over. But let's see here. Look really nasty on that spill.
Natapakan nga niya slightly yata yung sapatos ng kanyang defender. Let's see kung inaalalayan siya pabalik ng bench. Iniingatan niyang iapak ang kanyang kaliwang paa.
That's usually a bad sign whenever they cannot put weight on their foot. But definitely someone they will really miss here if he is not able to come back into the ball game. But then again, going to be just the next man up. We're expecting Calderon to be. I think Calderon is ready for the big moment here. But he will need a lot of help.
7-5 our score. 5 and 15 left sa ating first quarter. So hopefully Bulilan, nothing too serious from that injury. Pull up here. Short on that three. Short stab. Short once again. Maraquitos this time. Silva attacking the basket. Drops it off. Underneath. Masusundutan. Hindi. Traveling ang itatawag doon against Den Holgado of the Barquitos.
Good intention there, but unable to control the basketball. So that's going to be a traveling violation as we see De La Luna and Catilok checking in for the Batangas City Barquitos.
Carl Catilok, one of the players we were speaking about pre-game na hinahanap din nila dito. May production din that is expected from him. And trying to erase that defeat that they had from late in their previous game. Agaw, ganda naman ang hanap kay Carlston Bonafé in that instance. Another end one opportunity here for the Aces Solar. And that power move brought to us by Pound for Pound Fitness, the official fitness partner of the Junior MPBL.
Good recognition that time for Agaw. Actually, it's really that simple. If you're drawing a double team, for sure there will be an open teammate, and being able to find itong si Bonafé underneath despite being caught in traffic.
And he gives his team the lead, 8-7. Now a 1-point lead here para sa Aces Solar. A foul will be called dito against Isaiah Agaw. That's the 4th team foul now for Cavite. So next foul would mean free throws for Batangas City with still 3 and 45 left in our first. We go to Baguio. Second try. Pwede na rin. 1 out of 2. 50% shooting. So Baguio showing us the aggression early on. This time giving us that sweet touch.
I think that was a result of being able to get to the free throw line early. Finding his touch this time.
That gives his team now a 2-point lead. Another 3-ball attempt. Short that time, but offensive rebound will be secured. Another attempt. Blocked that time. Kanila pa rin. They have 9 to shoot. And 2 free throws ibibigay dito for 11 Elihai. Love the name. 11.
Wonder if there's any influence of the TV show Stranger Things.
Nasa 18 under na tayo. So, let's just assume 18 years old na si 11. Sobrang, well, baka naman nagpunta yung parents niya sa what ang tawag nila doon, Noy? The other side or what they call it in the show. Yeah. Baka nagpunta sila doon and then na-meet na nila si 11. Parang, you know what? Let's name our child 11.
Although in Stranger Things was just a few years ago. So we're just trying to spice things up here.
Baguio ahead of the pack. Finger roll this time. That's now 8 for him. That's right. Punta muna tayo kay Andrea Veloso for her report. Andrea?
Both teams started strong this first quarters. Assistant coach Ralph Horario of Cavite said that their goal today is to really start strong, lalo na't sa first half sila lagi nalalamangan on their previous games. Ganun pa man, na-scout nila ang running game ng Batangas and they have a prepared defense for their plays this game. One of Cavite City's key players, Quintrell Magcale, is currently not in this game as he is out of the country for another basketball engagement. But Adrian Calderon is willing to step up for today even though he is suffering from a mild sprain injury on his left ankle from the previous games. Speaking of sprain injury, Jelris Bolilan is currently under observation if he can enter the court after suffering a sprain on his left ankle this first quarter. What can you say about this, Jaime and Coach Noy?
Definitely, a lot of players would really need to step up in the absence nga of Bolilan, who got injured earlier. And we were talking about Calderon as possibly one of those players, pero even him, mayroon din palang ninunurse na mild sprain.
That's right, but if you're looking at the far corner of your screen right there, itong si Bolilan, already with the shoe off, being attended to by the medics. And I think it's really far-fetched to think that he will be able to return in this ball game.
A couple of misses dito for the Aces Solar as Agaw finds his way inside. He will be rewarded with 2 free throws.
Well, I think that's also another guy who can step up here for Cavite City. Itong si Isaiah Agaw, I mean, despite being a walking pun, averaging 5 points and 2 rebounds, but this kid actually has the skills, does have the ball handles, the ability to get to the rim. And I think he will need to step up here, especially if Bolilan will not be able to return in this contest.
Gets both charities to drop. 14-12 ang ating score. Still in favor of the Batangas City Baraquitos. 1 minute and 37 left sa ating first quarter. Magbabalik tayo sa Junior MPBL. Back with the last minute and 37 of our first quarter as we look at Jelris Bolilan of the Cavite City Aces Solar had that unfortunate incident kanina, spraining his ankle and under observation as reported by our Andrea Veloso. So hopefully he would have an opportunity back into this ball game. Pero sabi mo Anoy, tinanggal na yung sapatos, highly probable that he could call it a night. Yeah,
that's right. But yun nga, we could see already the foot being iced, but he should be back up and about by their next game depending on their schedule. And of course, we can also remember itong Cavite City nga just on short notice getting to host this game. So I think they will probably have a bit more rest after this ball game.
I wouldn't be surprised na at least malapit na lang yung uuwian niya. Pag uwi niya, maybe yung paborito niyang ulam, nakaabang na. And make this injury a bit, make him feel better a bit, no?
This is going to be game number 6 for them. So more than halfway of the schedule as we see ito ang si Calderon, I think, who is ready for the moment with a 3-pointer.
Instant naman yung reaction na itong crowd, no? Talagang sabi mo nga, it is a homegrown talent in the heart of Cavite City. Getting that 3-pointer. Nakasenyas na nga yung mga tao bago pa mahulog eh. Sigawan sila rito and yeah, definitely yung home court ramdam na ramdam natin dito sa Montano Hall.
So despite not having his picture in the stands, pero yung celebration still very much the same from our stands.
Parang siguro nakita niya yung last game eh. Sabi niya, "Uy, huwag yan nadalin yung picture."
Yung picture, baka umakit na, tinanggal yung mga picture sa taas.
Inunahan na niya. As able to convert on that free throw was Jorge Zaragoza of the Baraquitos. Tied ball game tayo, 15 all. Just 35 seconds left in our first quarter. Calderon tries another one. Short this time. Attacking the basket. Goes to the other side. Ganda namang galaw no. Napunta from the left to the right. Carl Katilok.
Very difficult shot there for Carl Katilok. But again, whenever you make that shot, that's always a good shot.
Finger roll attempt. Won't go there for Mintu. 4 seconds to work with. Mabibitawan nga lang. Have 1 second. Kailangan niya na ito ibato but mauubusan ng tayo ng oras. 17-15. Our score in favor of the Batangas City Baraquitos at the end of the first quarter. So look at our Atlantis 88 move of the game. Yun na nga. Kakatapos lang. Carl Katilok from left to right. Beautiful move. Babalik tayo with more junior MPBL.
Nais kong pasalamatan ang ating
Back with the second quarter of action. Nandito pa rin tayo sa Montano Hall sa Cavite. Jaime Mendihar kasama si Coach Noy Africa together with Andrea Veloso. Hatid sa inyong patuloy nating coverage of the Atlantis 88 Manny Pacquiao Jr. MPBL. Good-sized crowd. Still anticipating not just this game. Yung Imus, may tatlong laro rin sila ngayong hapon. So the support from the Cavite crowd always present whenever we're here sa Montano Hall.
That's right, and we expect also itong Quezon to have their own fans in the stands.
Still here for the Baraquitos. They lead by 2 so far in that first quarter. Matatanggalan ng sapatos si Agaw. Another 3 here. This time is for Nico Rosales, the Batangas City. So bagong pasok, making an impact immediately.
Well, you can hear a deafening silence every time there's a conversion here for Batangas. Really, that's the way to, take out the crowd. That is basically the target for any visiting team, is to take out the home crowd.
Now a 5-point lead dito for the red shirts sa mga nagtutunin pa lang sa atin ngayon, no. Jelres Bolilan of the Cavite City Aces Solar sprained his ankle sa ating first quarter. Is under observation. So baka lang hinahanap ninyo and wondering, no, bakit di pinapasok si Jelres? He had that unfortunate incident nga earlier. So sana nothing serious on his injury.
Yeah, but for Batangas, they have been able to build a 5-point lead, mainly due to the efforts of itong si Baguio, who has already 8 points. And right now for Cavite with Calderon on the bench and yun nga, Bulilan not available. We're wondering where the points is gonna come from.
And, speaking of points, doon naman hindi nahihirapan itong Batangas City Baraquitos so far. Sa Katilok with his 5th point of the ball game. 8 na kalamangan dito ng Batangas. Agaw goes to De La Cruz, pulls up in the lane, that's short. Second opportunity. Won't go, pero to the line is Sanjeev Mintu of the Aces Solar. We'd like to thank also our other sponsors, of course, Atlantis 88, meron din tayo Vivere Hotel and Resorts, Auto Asia, and Doride Bola ng Pinoy. Official ball ng Junior MPBL.
Actually, we were quite curious kung saan nanggaling yung pangalan na Doride. So apparently, the mother-in-law of the owner, ang pangalan ay Doray. And I think that D is the surname, so that's where the name came from.
Support local, Doride. And nakikita rin naman natin that it can perform, if not outperform, yung ibang brands that we have in the market today. Skatilok tries once again, gets it once again.
Actually, siya yung the one who got that net and entangled earlier. So he was also the one to untangle the net.
Binawi lang naman yan. No? Kinorek lang yan. Right? Driving to the hoop. So this is an 8-0 run now for the Baraquitos. It's now a 12-point lead. Gandang simula sa kanilang second quarter. 7-12. Magbabalik tayo with more Junior MPBL.
Nais kong pasalamatan ang ating Panginoon sa binigay niyang lakas ng pangatawan natin at itong biyaya.
Lamang ang Batangas dito by 12, 28-16 kontra Cavite City Aces Solar. Second quarter, 7 minutes and 12 remaining. So sabi mo nga, medyo the crowd a little silent for the second quarter. Batangas outscoring Cavite so far 11-1 itong ating second period.
And, the infusion of Katilok in this ball game has really been a catalyst so far for Batangas. Itong si Katilok already with 8 points.
Yep, matching yung output ni Pagyo in the first quarter. So it was Pagyo, one key player you were talking about pre-game. First quarter kanya. Second quarter naman, the other player you were talking about, Noy, is making his own noise.
And hindi pa sila nagsasabay. So we'll see how these two can work together to try and give a victory here for Batangas.
They do lead by 12, 28-16. So Cavite really struggling to find a scorer. Mula nung nawala nga itong si Bulilan and naupo itong si Calderon. And Calderon trying to find a basket. Can't get that to go. Katilok na naman dito. Masusundutan siya. Tuluyan ng maagawan. Meneses. Continuation by Bibigay.
No, the referees was very adamant on saying that the call was on the floor. The foul, I mean.
That's just the second team foul here for Batangas City. Samantalang isa for Cavite. So look at this replay of that Meneses attack. There was the foul. On the floor nga as illustrated by our officials.
But ito si Dwayne Pagyo checking in for Batangas. I think they're gonna try and make their move already. Try to extend that 12-point lead.
He's nursing 2 fouls though. So may dalawang early foul siya in the ball game. So something he needs to be mindful of in the second quarter. Punta sila kay Pagyo. Goes to the corner, Katilok. Good ball rotation here for the red shirts. They have 5 to shoot straight away. Rosales misses.
But itong si Rosales already has a 3-pointer to his name. So he has that license to shoot.
As De La Cruz misses on the inside. So, talagang may drought dito ang Cavite. Just 1 point. More than halfway through our second quarter already.
And that has kept the fans in the stands really quiet right now, being mere spectators.
Katilok once again. Another one.
So that's already the 5th conversion as a team for Batangas. Shooting 5 out of 11 Already the third one for Catilok.
And speaking of 5 3-pointers, it's now a 15-point lead for Batangas City. Really breaking this game open in the second quarter. 31-16 they lead. Going to the reverse. Can't get that to go. It's Meneses. Di diskarte rito. May ipit. A foul will be called against Catilok. Third team foul here for the red shirts.
I think Meneses was lucky to get bailed out with a foul there because he was already trapped on the sideline. But that's going to be 3 team fouls on Batangas.
As we see Ortiz back in the ball game for Batangas City, our heady point guard. Trying to find De La Cruz repeatedly sa loob. Pero talagang hindi pa makapag-orchestrate ng opensa itong Aces Solar natin in the second quarter at least.
Well, really a big loss for them is Bulilan. But they're going to need to figure out how to get some points on the board.
31-16 in favor of Batangas City. 2 minutes and 58 left in the second. Good morning sa inyo lahat. Magbabalik tayo with more Junior MPBL.
On the game ang Baraquitos sa pagpasok ng second quarter. Tulad ng Cavite City, the Baraquitos is really aiming to start strong this first half, lalo na't noong nakaraang game ay 10-0 run agad ang ibinigay na scores ng Leyte first quarter pa lang. Dagdag pa ni Coach Brian ng Baraquitos, ilalaban nila ang kanilang full court defense and proper execution of plays this game. Nakausap ko naman ang key player ng Batangas and Letran Squires player na si Dwayne Pagio, and he said that he lacks shootings last game, so this is what he will be focusing this game. Makakakuha na kaya ng panalo ang Baraquitos here in the 18 under division. Ano sa tingin nyo, Jaime and Coach Noy?
They're definitely on their way, Noy, with this 15-point lead para sa Batangas City. And interesting to note that yun nga, natuto sila from their last game. That they were starting flat and responded immediately and adjusting dito sa game na to.
Well, they did start 0-10 nga according to that report ni Andrea, but in the first quarter, they kept in step with Cavite and made their move. Had their strong second quarter start. Right now at 14-1 advantage over Cavite in the second quarter.
3 ball here for Cavite. Short. Talagang wala pa silang field goal na mabili dito sa second quarter natin. And just a minute and 59 remaining. It's a solitary point for the Aces Solar. Struggle talaga ever since Bulilan left the ball game.
And also being defense being played better here by Batangas, and that offense is really humming right now.
As Pagio misses on that corner 3, sabi nga ni Andrea, one of the key focuses of Pagio in this game. Yung dahil maalat daw sa shooting nung kanilang nakaraang laro.
And he has already made a 3-pointer out of 3 attempts.
On the reverse, ayaw pa rin talaga. De La Cruz, dudula sa kanyang kamay. We see Pagio. Goes to Rosales for 3. That's short. They kick it out. Susubok ba uli? No? They go to Pagio, swinging it to Ortiz. Underneath. Gandang ball rotation naman dun, Noy.
You like how they went from the left side of the court to the right side. Being able to eventually get a short corner jumper there.
As a 3 ball will be tried for Cavite. Not gonna go. Calderon, power dribble inside. First field goal. Less than a minute left.
What I like about Calderon, despite being not really that tall, having that strength to power himself inside, as you see Pagio flashing the improved shooting stroke so far in this ball game.
And this team leads by 17, 35 to 18. Dito sa ating second quarter. Calderon will lose it. Able to recover is Batangas City. Go to Ortiz for another and one. Medyo unconventional of that jump shot. But Ortiz also joining the scoring fray. Power move. Power jump shot brought to us by Pound for Pound Fitness, the official fitness partner of the Junior MPBL.
Well, it takes a lot of power to be able to finish despite being fouled on a jumper. But Ortiz, despite this diminutive frame, being able to finish in spite of all that contact.
Wow, baka akala nyo ang Pound for Pound Fitness is just for, you know, the bulky, for yung mga malalaking tao, no? Ang Pound for Pound Fitness, of course, focuses on strength and conditioning, athletic training. So if you want to elevate your game, gusto mong makondisyon para sa mga liga, trainings, right? Visit a branch near you. I'm sure merong malapit na Pound for Pound sa ating lahat. Very affordable rates.
Right, but Ortiz not being able to finish the three-point play that time.
At matatapos nga tayo dito, Noy. 37 to 18, a 19-point lead for the Batangas City Baraquitos. Second half natin in just a bit. As we look at our Atlantis 88 move of the game, courtesy of Carl Katilok and his 2 3-pointers in that second quarter. Sabi mo nga, siya rin yung nagpa-ball nung net. Siya rin naman yung nag-ayos with that 3-pointer. Yep. Back with more Junior MPBL sa aming pagbabalik.
Dito sa Junior F.
Mga Kriga, live pa rin tayo dito sa Montano Hall, Cavite City para sa Atlantis 88 Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Inaugural Season. And we have here with me Assistant Coach Patrick Testa of Batangas City and Assistant Coach Rafa Rario of Cavite City. So unahin ko po muna kayo, Coach Patrick. So Coach Brian and I talked about, you know, the full court defense and yung pag-stick sa game plan. So on the first half po ba na ipapakita ito ng ating mga players?
As of now naman, mukhang napapakita namin yung depensa na gusto namin. Yun yung pinaghihirapan namin bawat practice, sakripisyo namin bawat practice. Kaya happy ako at naipapakita nila yung defense na gusto namin.
Okay, Coach. Good luck po on the next half. With that, meron po ba kayong gustong pasalamatan?
Pinapasalamatan ko po pala si Vice Mayor, Mayor Beverly Di Macuha, Vice Mayor, Congressman Marvin Marino, at lahat ng major sponsors, mga coaches namin. Binabati namin kay Boss Bong Berberabe at kay Doc Alan Lanson at sa lahat na sumusuporta sa Batangas at saka sa family ko dyan. Thank you po.
Thank you so much po, Coach. Lipat naman po tayo dito kay Coach Ralph. Coach, how would you describe po itong pinapakitang performance ng ating 18 under players?
Well, to be honest, disappointing. Hindi to yung pin-repair namin eh. Ito na naman kami, slow start, 19 points down na naman kami. So, kung lang yung performance ng team, sobrang disappointing talaga niya.
Okay ka po, Coach. Sana po makahabol kayo on the next half. Meron po ba kayong gustong pasalamatan?
Ayun, gusto ko lang pasalamatan ng Aces Solar, Alpha Sports, Daily Essentials, Udals, and syempre si Mayor Denver Chua.
Thank you so much, coaches, and good luck po on the next half. We will be right back for more ball game updates.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat po sa Panginoon sa magandang araw na ito. Nais kong pasalamatan ang ating Panginoon sa binigay niyang lakas na pangatawan natin at itong biyaya, pagkakataon na makapaglaro tayo ng basketball. Maraming salamat sa ating commissioner,
Hi! Okay, cheer naman natin si AA! Go AA! Cheer natin siya, guys! Brand new cellphone, here we go! Okay lang yan. Next, we have Yuhan. Go, Yuhan! Okay. Better luck next time. We have here Charles. Go, Charles! Sayang! Ang lapit na. Next, we have Muiski. Cheer natin si Muiski, guys. Muiski! Okay lang yan. Kinapos. Next is Joseph. Sayang! And we have here Oliver. Go, Oliver! Go, Oliver! Go, Oliver! Sayang! Okay, thank you so much, guys, for joining. Better luck next time.
Few minutes from our second half. Ating third game of the day. Batangas kontra Cavite in the 18 under tournament. As we look at the highlights of our first half, Batangas really controlling much of our first two quarters, scoring both from beyond the arc and in the paint. Samantalang Cavite really struggled, especially in that second quarter where they only scored 3 points.
Well, in that first quarter nga, itong Batangas shooting very well from the field, as we see the people who have been providing extra security here at the venue here at the Montano Hall in Cavite City. Field goal shooting, Batangas 43%, Cavite only 21%. From the three-point area, itong Batangas already converting on 5 shots from the perimeter, only 1 for Cavite, so that's already 12-point disadvantage there for Cavite. Then a rebounding battle, 25-16 for Batangas. And the bench just coming to play here for Batangas. 19-7 advantage. Of course, most of those coming from Katilok, who is leading them in scoring with 11 points, aside from the 10 points of Baguio. While on the other end, it has only been Calderon who has answered the call here for Coach Joel Gragasin, leading them with 8 points.
Sorely missing itong si Bulilan from that injury in the first half. Kailangan ng katulong dito ni Calderon for the rest of this ball game for them to have a chance to come back from this 19-point deficit. Not gonna help their cause is their foul doon kay Ortiz.
As you see on your screen, Coach Brian Ramirez, visibly very happy with how his team is performing so far.
And responding to his own call for the Baraquitos, as reported by Andrea nga kanina, they started off slow, 10-0 in their previous ball game against Leyte, kung saan sila natalo, making sure that did not happen in this matchup between them and Cavite.
And just a great second quarter start for them, 20-3. So let's see if they can continue that here in the second half.
Now a 21-point lead, biggest so far here for Batangas City, as the crowd chants defense. Lack of it in that possession.
And mark that time is Paule, and if you're Cavite, if you're not gonna pay attention, especially on the defensive end, expect Allen Ortiz to just dissect that defense with his passing.
Foul will be called here against 11. Ang ating si tropang si 11 Elihay. And yun nga, Ortiz with that no look.
Pero yung no look niya pagkapasa niya lang. So
Yep.
it's more of a look away that time, but still very effective.
Tumingin lang sa bench ng Cavite. 3-ball would miss for the Aces Solar. Still can't buy a basket na inaalat talaga sila in terms of field goal production even from the second quarter and for the first couple of minutes natin dito sa third.
Well, itong si Dwayne Pagyo actually, if you remember, got his shooting touch right after getting to the free throw line. So trying to replicate that formula here in the second half.
Kasi minsan hindi lang naman kailangan yung field goal talaga yung ma-convert mo in order for you to find the rhythm. Some players do find it from the stripe and what easier way for you to get those points in or get to see the ball through the basket with nobody defending you pretty much. Yeah?
Actually, most of the best scorers in all levels actually know how to get to the free throw line, and that's really where you find your rhythm.
Agaw sa kabila. Challenged by two defenders. Still can't get that to go. Cavite still struggling in this ball game as Paule open for three. Can't get that to go. Pagyo trying to get that 50-50 ball. Ahead to Calderon. Kaso mabibitawan niya rito at balik dito ang Batangas City. Ortiz. Ooh. Sidestepping his way for that easy two.
That's pretty much an improvised Pinoy step.
And look at the excitement from his teammates after that wonderful move. Maybe a candidate for Atlantis 88 move of the game. Yeah? Nananawagan po si Ortiz kay Direk Nori. Baka naman.
Improvised Pinoy step right there. And, despite the Cavite crowd here being quiet, they haven't left the building yet. So if you're Cavite, you know that all you need to do is ignite a run. And if you get the crowd into it, instantly you'll have your sixth man right there.
Para gana-ganahan din naman yung kanilang crowd. They really have been quiet for much of this ball game.
Well, they really, made a lot of noise for the first two games. And yun nga, mukhang so far, Batangas really just trying to get them out of the ball game.
This is now a 30-point advantage for the Batangas City Baraquitos, 48-18. Calderon tries from outside. Still can't get that to go. Pagyo naman ang susubok. Short on his attempt. Meneses will be fouled by Ortiz. That's the third team foul here for the Baraquitos.
Well, that's still a good foul there for the Baraquitos, not wanting Cavite to be getting easy baskets, even resorting to fouling them in the backcourt.
Substitution dito, papasok si Mark Mendez for the Baraquitos, replacing Paule. May opportunity for some of the players of the Baraquitos to get some playing time as well in this ball game.
One of the luxuries for building an early lead is giving your other players the opportunity to earn more minutes by showing what they can do on the floor.
Ortiz to Pagyo. In the middle. Short on that jumper is Carl Magtibay. Naagawan nga doon si Calderon. Ortiz crossing over Minto. Na biktima na naman niya si Minto. That's the second time he has eluded the big of the Aces Solar.
He did not mean to embarrass Minto with that move, but really just good use of counters nito ni Ortiz, I mean.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't.
He didn't mean to.
As we look at this replay of that crossover, talaga naman. Oohs and ahs Not coming from the crowd, but from his teammates. Really enjoying how Ortiz has twice eluded nga itong big man ng Cavite.
But I'm sure even the Cavite crowd in their head were having their own oohs and ahs for that great move.
32 points now ang advantage of the Red Shirts. 4:08 left in the third quarter. Spagio, their leading scorer so far. Tries once again, hindi nga lang mahuhulog. He has 13 in the ball game so far, followed by Katilok at 11. And yun nga sa kabila, you spoke about him in the first half. Only Calderon answering the call. Napako na nga rin siya dito sa 8.
But Coach Joel Gragasin also wanting the calls here, starting to work again. That's, as I said earlier, diba? Even if you win twice, you're always as good as your last game. So, if he ends up going home with a loss here, that's what he will remember.
As we turn it over to Andrea Veloso for a report. Andrea?
The Baraquitos are on fire. As per Assistant Coach Patrick of Batangas, continue lang sa magandang depensa, energy at pag-stick sa game plan at magiging worth it din ang mahabang biyahe nila papunta dito sa venue. On the other hand, unfortunately, Jelris Bulilan of Cavite City will not enter the court this second half because of his ankle sprain last first quarter. Dagdag pa ni Coach Joel, talagang nakaka-apekto sa performance ng team ang absence ni Q Magkale, ganun pa man, tiwala at laban lang ika niya sa kanya mga players. Your thoughts, Jaime and Coach Noy?
So, talagang short-handed na yung Cavite coming into the ball game, Noy, and doesn't really, aid their efforts after that Bulilan injury.
And of course, yun nga, sabi ni Andrea, Magkale is out because of commitments. I believe playing abroad right now. I wish we had a little more information. Parang mainggit pa tayo lalo. These kids being able to play the game they love. They get to travel. Even this team from Batangas getting to travel from Batangas to Cavite, playing in a very beautiful venue, and then have your games live streamed. And even, you get injured, you get a close-up. These kinds of experiences are stuff that wasn't available to earlier generations, and ito nga, an age group competition with a regional flair. It's really a great opportunity for these kids.
Paturo lang kayo kay Vince Pastor kung gusto nyong malaman kung ano yung angle na pwede nyo ipakita pagka nagpo-focus yung camera sa inyo. He plays for the Baraquitos 14 under team. Baka nandito pa siya sa venue, get some tips to him. But the great point, Noy, that yung nabibigay na platform ng Junior MPBL sa mga players, lalo at this age, that really isn't available, lalo ng panahon natin, kung magkukumpara na lang din tayo when we were 14, 16, and 18. Not that I would have been featured if they had Junior MPBL during that time. But definitely an advantage for these young kids to showcase yung talent nila, not just in the hard court but through the live streams that we have, Facebook, YouTube, yun nga, Signal Channel 98, MPTV. We have all these platforms now that your relatives or even scouts may be able to see you play and get opportunities din para sa'yo to get into schools.
Well, back to that point, actually during my time, not even the collegiate leagues, the bigger collegiate leagues, the UAAP, the NCAA, not all games were televised back then. So you can see here, ito in the Junior MPBL, all games are being televised, live streamed live. Parang redundant, but still, this opportunity, this platform, and also for the scouts, it's way easier for them to scout. Before, you really have to watch games live, and now, before you watch the games live, you can first, have an initial feel of what the kids can do before you go and try to recruit them.
The fast break opportunity for Cavite broken up, and foul will be given up nga dito. Now, just the third team foul para sa kanila. Still not in the penalty. Talking about the Aces Solar. They trail by 29, 52 to 23 with a minute and 8 in the third quarter. And balikan ko lang din yung point mo kanina, Noy, on the ability to travel, no? Kasi naka-cover kami ng game where Peteros from Muntinlupa.
Yeah.
And was reported to be coming from South Cotabato. Diba? And one of the players for San Pedro that I covered din ng previous game, AR Padilla, his father approached me and sabi niya, pakibanggit naman sa stream na pride of Sibongan Cebu, yung kanilang player. So it's not necessarily, international travel per se, but it's the people that are, the kids that are discovered as well from the provinces that we have here in the country that have an opportunity to showcase yung talent nila at this level.
So going again back to that point, each team is required to have a minimum 5 homegrown players. But as you said nga, Muntinlupa bringing in a player all the way from South Cotabato. So yung 5 homegrown players does not limit the opportunities for everybody. That you can still get players coming from different areas.
And yun nga, kaya din naman sobrang din ng competition that we have here. Sobrang tough, sobrang talagang iron sharpens iron type of environment. And these kids would only get stronger as this league goes on. So look at some beautiful faces dito, mga Caviteño, enjoying the morning games. Ayan. Gusto natin yung hindi camera shy.
Oh, yan, kumakaway pa.
Wala naman daw pasok, so okay lang. So sa mga nanonood dyan, we are inviting you to go to Montano Hall and enjoy the action live. And mukhang continuation ang ibibigay doon kay Calderon. Pound for pound, a power move brought to us by Pound for Pound Fitness once again. The official fitness partner of the Junior MPBL. As we look at this replay. Speaking of homegrown, ito nga si Calderon. Making his way through the hoop. Arguing na foul. Should have been on the floor but referees deemed otherwise. And binigay nga yung continuation sa kanya.
Well, if you're Batangas, they did stop playing after hearing the whistle. So you still don't want to develop bad habits despite this big lead.
Three-pointer rattles out for Batangas. And the last few seconds sa atin dito sa ating third quarter. Calderon! Would have brought the house down regardless of the score.
So if you're Cavite, the last thing you want is to stop playing because of what you see on the scoreboard. Some coaches would say that you stop looking at the scoreboard, and I think this has to be the most exciting miss that we've seen so far today. Pwedeng highlight move of the game yan kahit hindi na-shoot for the first time ever.
Pasok pa rin naman yon para sa akin. If I would recall that play, for me, that was a made basket. At mauubos na ang ating oras dito sa ating third quarter. Batangas leads Cavite 56 to 27. With the last 10 minutes of action coming up in just a few. Tingnan muna natin Atlantis move of the game. Atlantis 88 move of the game courtesy of Ortiz. Nga, he didn't mean to, sabi mo nga Noy. Pero 2 beses na niyang ginawa. So I don't know if he really didn't mean to. Ayun nga, magbabalik tayo with a 56-27 score. Last quarter coming up.
Nais kong pasalamatan ang ating Panginoon sa binigay niyang lakas na pangatawan natin at itong biyaya, pagkakataon na makapaglaro tayo ng basketball. Maraming salamat sa ating...
Last 10 minutes of this matchup between Batangas City Baraquitos and Cavite City Aces Solar 18 under tournament. Dito pa rin tayo sa Montano Hall sa Cavite City. Jaime Mendihar together with Coach Noy Africa and Andrea Veloso. Hatid sa inyo ang ating aksyon. Batangas enjoying a 29-point advantage. Make that 31-point advantage now after that basket. Ang Cavite really after that first quarter finishing 17-15, hindi na talaga nakakapag-produce. They've been struggling to find a player that can give them their points in this ball game, Noy.
Well, yun nga, in the second and third quarter, they did not even hit double digits. While itong Batangas continuing to score here, the onslaught is not yet over. But for Batangas, I think they do not want to develop bad habits here. So they're trying to actually run some of their offensive sets. But that time, a foul will be called on Katilok.
And I'm sure even the coaches would remind their players, no, na 40-minute game to, despite the score line, that we shouldn't go out of our system. Kahit na lamang na, and maybe the victory is secured.
But even for a team that is down big, you don't want to, try to ad-lib too much and go away from your system. But when you got a guy like this, Dwayne Paggio, being able to just get to the rim on demand, I don't think you can really fault him for trying to do that.
As he traps the long board, trying to go against 4 defenders. A reset. Uses a Holgado pick. And De La Luna, strong on his layup. Calderon has been trying. We give him that much. Nawala nga ang kanyang partner na si Bolilan. Sprained his ankle. For those who are wondering, bakit naman ganito? Ba't sila hirap na skumore? Magawang 20 si Bolilan on average. He had an unfortunate incident at the start of this ball game that sidelined him for the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, but right now, itong si Calderon really not getting much help, and it's easier for Batangas to key in on him, especially when you got itong si Carl Katilok continuing to hit from the outside. That's 4 3-pointers already, 14 points in total.
That's Carl Katilok providing that outside sniping for the Baraquitos. So both inside and out actually nag-work dito for the Baraquitos throughout the ball game. 34 points now ang kanilang lamang biggest lead so far in this ball game.
Well, actually, those 2 3-pointers that he hit in the second quarter, I think he even hit 3 in the third quarter, pretty much broke this game wide open dahil sobrang close natin in the first quarter. At the end of one, the score was 17-15. And then those 3-pointers just started to fall for Katilok.
Parang maybe if we look at that play, hindi mo masyado masabi na it made a huge difference. But that was when bumitaw nga bigla itong Batangas City. And I think Cavite was able to call a timeout pa nga during that time just to break the momentum. Pero wala, talagang hindi na lumingon tong Batangas City after those baskets. Want to shoot here, they have to put it up.
Oh, being bailed out with a foul.
Making matters even worse here for the Aces Solar.
You could see Coach Joel just walking to the end of the bench. Really just frustrating for a coach. You know, you play defense, excellent defense for 23 seconds. Offensive player not even in a position to score, but you give up a foul.
Skatilok tries inside. Was that an alley-oop?
A really hard time trying to guess right now.
As Mendoza on the other end, yun nga, points coming very, seldom for Cavite City. So back to the drawing board likely for them, and assuming that their key player nga would not be able to play for maybe a number of games, no? Speaking about Jelris Bolilan, may kailangang mahanap na ibang tarjeta itong Cavite City in their future games. That defensive stop might spark something kaso they turn the ball over immediately.
You like how itong si Katilok got blocked on one end, just went back on defense, able to come up with a steal.
Spagio, another case of
Was that a pass?
A pass. The mysterious case of was that an assist for Pagio or not? Here you go. Something positive for the Aces Solar. Power move brought to us by Pound for Pound Fitness, the official fitness partner of the Junior MPBL.
That basket coming from Denmark Smith.
If you tell me without me watching, that Denmark Smith made that basket,
I wouldn't be able to have guessed that he was Denmark Smith in the first place, but definitely being able to complete a three-point play that time.
Introducing himself to this ball game is Denmark Smith.
See Adrian Calderon back on the bench, getting a well-deserved water break.
Baka bigyan na nga lang ng opportunity yung ibang players at this stage with 4:55 left in the ball game. This is a 33-point lead now for Batangas City Baraquitos. Sabi nga ni Andrea kanina, yung dinayo nitong Batangas to Cavite, hindi naman masasayang. And the 14 and 16 under teams weren't as successful, but the 18 under team naman, more than redeeming yung kanilang mga kababata, mga na players.
So this could actually be a happy ride home for the Baraquitos. I mean, the entire delegation as they go back to their dorms.
Oo nga, na magkakadorm nga pala itong mga to as reported earlier. So, building team chemistry on and off the court. It's a nice putback. Another end one opportunity. This time that was Brian Diaz. Power move na naman, brought to us by Pound for Pound Fitness, the official fitness partner of the Junior MPBL. You love the fight dito sa mga players that are now being given that opportunity. Inuupo na yung mga starters, giving a chance for some players na maybe not as much minutes in their previous games. Ngayon naman nasusubukan.
And especially since they are still going up against the pretty much the starters here nitong Batangas City. You still have itong si Ortiz on the floor, you have Katilok, you have Pagio still on the floor. So very good exposure here for the bench players of Cavite City.
Pagio pass ahead to Katilok. Don't have to rush things. 30 nga ang kanilang kalamangan. As Ortiz trying to dance his way once again. Goes to Katilok. Hanging in the air, short on his jumper. It's a nice stop for Cavite. Rin nga, ibabalik na naman nila agad ang bola dito sa Batangas. Pagio from the corner. Rattles out.
Pagio so far 1 out of 6 from the three-point area, but they're still up big here.
Still 3:40 left sa ating fourth quarter as we look at Doride, bola ng Pinoy, official ball of the Junior MPBL. And with that, we will be back with more Junior MPBL.
kong pasalamatan.
Muli nagbabalik tayo sa Montano Hall dito sa Cavite for the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds of this ball game. Very comfortable lead for the Batangas City Baraquito, 69-39. They have been outscored for the last 3 quarters, talking about the Aces Solar. After a very close first quarter, 17-15, bumitaw nga itong Batangas, outscoring Cavite 20-3 in that second quarter. And it kind of nag-avalanche na from there.
Well, they're actually, itong Cavite, doing better here in the fourth quarter. Finally, hitting double digits already with 12 points. But ito Batangas with 13. But Cavite has been able to keep in step still here with the Batangas Baraquitos.
As De La Merced escapes for that layup. John R.D. De La Merced. Kita mo naman, talagang ayaw din sumuko pa. Nangungulit pa sa depensa dito. Spagio, ayaw. Takbo Cavite. Denmark Smith, sidestepping his way. That gets, he gets a bounce.
Nice move there coming from Denmark Smith. So, itong si Berberabe actually has been begging for the ball underneath. But so far, they haven't been able to find him.
Two and 25 remaining. Ortiz trying to find his way to the hoop. Foiled on that attempt. And foul will be called against the red shirts. So some positives siguro, Noy, for Cavite, right? I mean, I know the score doesn't really mean there's a lot of positives to take from it, but I don't think Coach Joel planned on not having Bulilan for majority of this ball game. They would still be 2 and 4. So may way pa rin naman to magkaroon ng magandang position in the team standings at the middle of this tournament so far. What have you been seeing sa koponan nila?
Well, itong si Bulilan nga only having played 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Kasi we're wondering what is the delay here. But anyway, for Cavite City, I think this fourth quarter is still something for them to build on. Already scoring 16 points in the fourth quarter against just 13 for Batangas. And it's very significant because they were only able to keep in step in the first quarter.
There seems to be may officials timeout tayo dito. They're looking at the hardwood. Seems to be something found on the floor that they're trying to sort out.
We are still trying to figure this out. If there is, I don't know what there is.
Parang may nakausli.
Oh, yeah.
As we figure it out, magbabalik tayo with more Junior MPBL. Last 2 and 16 of this fourth quarter. Karoon lang tayo ng konting delay, some debris found on the hard court. Able to sort that out already and safe to play once again. So look
First
at
safety and the well-being of our players always the priority here in the junior MPBL.
as we saw nga Vince Simone Mendoza, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in the stripe earlier. So yung mga hugot din dito for Cavite City, sila pa yung sila pa yung nakapagtali ng double digit production in this fourth quarter. So really nice to see that they are indeed taking advantage of the opportunity being provided to them in this ball game despite nga the deficit.
And that was against the top players of Batangas who were still on the floor at that time. But at this point also, itong Baraquitos going to their bench and an opportunity for their players to try and earn some more minutes. Dahil, yun nga, aside from, sa practice, these few minutes is an opportunity for the coaches to try and see if these players on the bench can actually contribute, especially in a game situation.
Dali kasing isipin sa player Noy na ano pa magagawa ko niyan? Pinasok ako, 2 minuto na lang.
So it's really the attitude and the mindset of the players that the coaches are looking out for, especially when you're always ready to get into the game and actually make a contribution.
As we see De La Merced hustling to get that lead pass. Kaso sobra ang pasa. Babalik na naman dito sa Batangas City. So really important nga din yung attitude. No, you were just saying that it's not simply the basketball skill that the coaches are looking at, or even the audience are looking at, no? Pati yung tamang attitude, tamang mindset.
Well, actually, yung skills kasi, that's something that you can develop. That's something that you can just work hard on your own or in practice, as we see a 3-point play there.
So Denmark Smith bringing us a power move. Brought to us by Pound for Pound Fitness, the official fitness partner of the Junior MPBL.
Anyway, going back to that point, again, yung skills, that's something that you can develop, but sometimes yung attitude kasi pretty much innate yan eh. That's really a result of, how the kid was raised, how he was brought up by his parents or his guardians or the circle of friends that he's around. But, that fighting attitude, that never giving up, always ready, yung mga ganyang bagay, that's something that you cannot force to teach someone.
As a 24-second shot clock violation will be called here against the Red Shirts. They'll be moving to 4-2 now sa kanilang division. They were 4th prior to this ball game, likely moving up in the standings. And once again, a beautiful morning sa inyong lahat dito sa Montano Hall. Babalik tayo with more Junior MPBL.
Gustong pasalamatan.
We're back with the last 41 seconds of this ball game. Just the 3rd of 6 games. So may 3 pa tayo ngayong hapon. The other hometown team of Imos going up against the Quezon Junior Huskers. Very exciting ball games din pa ang paparating sa atin.
What I liked about this timeout by Coach Joel Gragasin, he was checking with the table if he still had timeouts left. And as soon as he signaled his timeout, he was looking at Coach Brian Ramirez on the other end. Parang pretty much asking for permission. You know, I'm gonna call a timeout. As Coach Brian Ramirez just acknowledged it with a nod.
Respect din, no, for
Yeah.
both coaches. Dahil one might think na parang para saan pa, di ba? But again, a teaching moment likely taken advantage of by Coach Joel. And coaching never stops. And despite the scoreline nga. And actually, 20 na lang to. Pwedeng 18 na nga lang. So,
But really just a little too late. Just I think that those middle quarters bridging halftime, second and third quarter, pretty much gave the victory here for Batangas.
proved to be the difference nga in this ball game, and Batangas City would go home with this victory 69-51 against the Cavite City Aces Solar. So nakakaisa ang Batangas dito in their 3-game matchup. Punta naman tayo sa ating Atlantis 88 move of the game. Just Mendoza passing it on for that hang time move by Bonafe. Yeah. One of the few highlights that Cavite City had in this game. But it's not for a lack of fight, sabi nga natin.
No, but definitely just that big second quarter and fueled by Carl Catilok with 3 3-pointers in the first half. But eventually it was really just the all game long performance from our best player that gave the victory here for the Baraquitos.
And yun nga, talagang a lot of players did produce for Batangas City. But it was one player in particular that made the difference. As we go to Andrea Veloso for Atlantis 88 Player of the Game.
Mga kaligaw, we have here the Atlantis 88 Best Player of the Game, Dwayne Pagio from the 18 under Batangas City Baraquitos. He has 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist. So you guys really started and ended the game strong. So ano ba ang naging main advantage nyo for this game?
Naging advantage namin is yung mga pass break, rebounds, tsaka yung mga outnumber. Kasi talo kami last game, so nag-bounce ba kami.
Ayan, thank you and congratulations. Meron ka bang gustong pasalamatan, Dwayne?
Nagpapasalamat lang po ako sa mga sponsors ng team namin at mga pumunta po dito na sumusuporta na galing Batangas.
Ayan, thank you so much. And that was our Atlantis 88 Best Player of the Game, Dwayne Pagio from the 18 under Batangas City Baraquitos. Back to the panel.
The soft-spoken Dwayne Pagio. No? Parang alam mo, hindi gumawa 19. But,
Even in the interview, very workman-like behavior, no?
So we look at some highlights from this ball game. Ito nga, that Atlantis 88 move of the game earlier, courtesy of Bonafe. But it was Dwayne Pagio repeatedly finding the hoop, working from both inside and out. And Catilok as well, one of the key players for Batangas City in this winning effort. At dyan na nga magtatapos ang ating 18 under division matchup between Batangas and Cavite, with the Baraquitos winning by 18, 69-51. Next game natin would be the 18 under division matchup between the Imos the Imos EJAA Ballers against the Quezon Junior Huskers. On behalf again of Coach Noy Africa and Andrea Veloso, this has been Jaime Mendihar for the Atlantis 88 Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino.